So let's go to the left side of the mat. Feet are together. They can be apart if they need to be. Squeeze the butt, pull the belly in. We'll inhale the hands up. Exhale, hands come down, just kind of ease into it. Inhale, hands come up. Exhale, and let's forward fold. All right, from here, if you can, bend the knees if you need to, and the fingertips go onto the ground. And we're just gonna start by bicycling the legs back and forth. So we straighten one leg and then straighten the other. All right, and from here, brace the hands and let's step back into a plank. We can go to the knees on this one if we like, but go ahead and get the hands right underneath the shoulders, squeeze the armpits down and the elbows face to the back of the room. From here, we're gonna plant to the balls of the feet, push through the palms, press the hips back and up to the corner where the ceiling meets the wall. Go ahead and spread the fingers wide, elbows facing the ground or towards the feet. Shoulders away from the ears, and one more time, let's do a bicycle, heels towards the ground, bending the knees. All right, from here, if you want, come forward into your plank again. And again, you can always transition on the knees. Squeeze the elbows in tight. We're gonna go nice and slow all the way down to the ground. Point the toes, and we're gonna squeeze the shoulder blades down and back and lift the chest. This is your baby cobra. If you'd like a little more, squeeze the elbows again, and then lift the chest about halfway up. Elbows are still bent, hips are on the ground, and the glutes are squeezed tight. Curl the toes under, press back up into your plank, and then push the hips back. From here, let's lift the right leg to the ceiling, only as high as we can go while keeping the leg straight. So if we need to come to parallel, that's fine. We want to keep the right hip facing the ground. Now, two options. One is to swing the leg all the way between the hands, or we drop the knee and put the foot between the hands. From here, let's lift the back leg if you've put the knee down. Otherwise, stand your lunge. Step the feet together. Relax into your forward fold. Roll up and inhale at the top. Exhale, relax the shoulders, push the hips forward, and then roll the shoulders into back pockets. Come back to the center. Exhale, fold forward. Brace the hands, bending the knees as much as you need to. Let's step back into a plank. Squeezing the elbows to the back of the room again, drive through the palms and press the hips up, and we're in down dog. Try to keep a long line from the fingertips all the way to the hips. Now this time, let's lift the belly and roll forward into a plank. Squeeze everything tight, drop the knees if we need to, and let's go to a hover right on top of right above the ground, squeezing the elbows tight, press through, lift the chest. Keep the shoulders squeezed down and the elbows to the back of the room. We're in up dog if we have our straight elbows and our thighs off the ground. Press the hips back. This time, let's lift the left leg. Heel is in the air. We only go as high as we can go without losing the straight leg, and while we keep the left hip to the ground. So again, you can either swing the leg all the way through, or set the knee down and come to your lunge. If we set the knee down, let's go ahead and lift it so we're in a full lunge, again, bracing on the ground, and if we need it, we can put our blocks on the sides or just one block on the spot that needs help. Step the feet together, bracing the hands on the ground, bending the knees as much as we need to. Roll all the way up. Inhale the hands together. Exhale, come back into your baby back bend. Again, squeezing the shoulders down and squeezing the butt. Inhale, center. Exhale and fold. Stepping back into your plank, bracing and holding, nice and strong. Drive through the palms, spread the fingers wide, and press the hips up. So we should be feeling a little more limber. Let's lift the belly, roll forward again. Coming chest just in front of hands. If you feel like you can, Let's keep the knees off the ground and come down to the hover. Point the toes, press all the way up into your up dog. Curl the toes under, push the hips back up. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Let's lift the right heel only as high as we can go. Let's bring the knee in, either drop your left knee, or if we don't quite make it, we put the foot down and assist it to the center. Lifting the chest, tucking the chin, and stepping into your forward fold. One more time, we're gonna do this sequence. Inhale all the way up. Relax the shoulders, pull everything in. Exhale, reach back. Feeling it all in the glutes and not the low back. Bring it to the center. Exhale and fold. Again, bend the knees as much as we need to brace the hands on the ground. Stepping back into your plank. Set it up nice and tight. Press the hips up to the ceiling. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Now let's lift the belly, round out the body. We're gonna come forward into our plank. Knees or no knees, drop down, controlled. Press up and continue the cycle, hips back to the corner where the ceiling meets the wall. Last three-legged dog, lifting the left leg this time. Keep pushing the ears away from the shoulders. Bring the knee in, step in between the hands, and lift the chest. Stretching out the front of the hip, let's step together. Rolling all the way up, inhale. Exhale, reaching back. And inhaling back to center. So from here, we're gonna do a little bit of strength and balance. So we're gonna take our right foot, take a long step back, and we're gonna turn our hips to the front of the room and straighten both legs. So if we're turned, we wanna bring ourselves towards the front. So if you've got your mat, you're facing the side on of your mat. And we're going to take our arms out wide with straight legs. And we're just gonna tilt the hips towards the right side of the room. And tilt the hands. If we need to, we stay right here bracing, or we can come down to the shin, or we come fingertips to the ankle. So here's what we want to remember here. We're going to hold this for a bit. It shouldn't be easy. If it's easy, let's check our form. We want straight legs, bending the front leg if we need to, straightening if we can. I'm using my bottom hand here to open my chest because I don't want to just reach. I'm going to roll my shoulder blade towards my spine. All right, from here, let's come back up to our flat arms, bend the left knee, and we are going to be in our warrior two. So this is another one that we want to check. Hips are facing the front. My knee is not pointing towards my toe, it's pressing towards my pinky toe, so it's nice and open. And if I have one hip kind of lifted, let's try to even them out. Now, we want to leave everything about our lower body exactly the same. So without changing anything, reach, now brace and extend. So just like with that triangle pose, we want to make sure that we're not just reaching forward. Roll the shoulder blade towards the spine, straighten the arm, and let's keep our hip bones facing the front of the room. So we should feel really open here. From here, exhale, bring the hands behind the back. You can bring the fingers or the back of the hand to the base of the spine, or we can open it a little more, grabbing the inside of the thigh and looking over the right shoulder. All right, from here, let's come all the way back up and straighten the legs. So let's do one more thing here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring our feet a little closer together. Same type of movement. I'm coming onto my left leg, knee is right on top of the ankle, and I'm gonna brace my hand on my left leg, lifting my fingertips to the ceiling, just like I did in that triangle pose. Now, I can stay right here, soft left knee, toe on the ground, or if I would like a little bit more, I'm gonna lift this foot off the ground, and I can be anywhere from the ground to parallel to the ground. But I want my hips open, find a spot on the floor that looks good, and then stare at it. And
if you would like to, you can extend the arm. Again, this is a spot where a block might come in handy. We want that hand down. When we're not ready, that's totally fine. We could be right here. So let's land gently. Inhale to the front. Exhale, bring the hands back out wide. Let's turn our right foot to the right side of the room. Legs stay straight. Tip the hip towards the left. Then tilt so that we have long fingers to the ceiling and the floor. Brace the knee if we need to, the shin if we need to, or we bring the fingertips down to the ground. Now, this one is one where I have to stay a little higher in order to keep my hip in the right spot. So I'm going to brace on my shin, keep my fingertips facing towards the ground, towards the ceiling, but keep my shoulder blade rolled, and this hip is open, but it's not in pain, and it's also not in the wrong spot. So a few more breaths here. All right, let's come back up. Arms are parallel to the ground, and let's bend the left knee. Same thing, turning the hips towards the front. Arms are level, squeezing the butt. You should feel it at the bottom of the glutes. Shoulders are rolled down away from the ears. So once we've got that upper body down, let's push the knee towards the pinky toe, and we want to aim for a vertical shin. Exhale, reach, keeping the legs exactly the same. Take your fingers, bring the forearm to the quad, and extend the arm overhead. Same thing here. Roll the shoulder blade away from the chest. Wow, I wish everybody could see this. Ollie is sitting on his back legs like a prairie dog, using Mike as a prop. All right, so we're gonna keep those shoulder blades open. Exhale, bring the back of the hand to the base of the spine. Reopen the shoulder blade. Notice that when I rolled it, I didn't just roll back, but I rolled down. Hooking the fingertips on the inside of the thigh if we can. Again, this is not a side that I can do that on today. Excellent, so let's come back up. Bring the feet in a little bit closer, same open feeling. Brace the right hand on the quad. Lift the left hand to the ceiling. We can be anywhere from the ground to that parallel position. Find the spot on the floor that you like and stare at it. If we can be here and extend the fingers to the ground, let's do it. Again, keeping everything open. If I were against a wall, I'd basically be a starfish. Good, landing and coming back up. Take a deep breath in and exhale. From here, let's come down into a little bit of a yoga squat or a sumo squat. So we're gonna push the knees wide. Option one is to come where we just are pushing the knees out wide, elbows are on the thighs. If we're pretty inflexible here, we can get a box, a book, a yoga block, and sit on this. While we do it, we push the knees wide, brace the hands in between the knees. Now, if we can get down, we either lower that block or we take it completely away and we sit. So you want to sit your hips as far down as you can, and we want to make sure that all of our toes are pressing into the ground, heel is in the ground, press the palms together, and push the knees as we lift the chest. Now, if this is starting to be painful, check to make sure, one, that we haven't gone too far, or two, that we're not trying to use our muscles to do this. We want to relax into the position. Keep pushing the knees wide, squeezing the shoulder blades away. Now from here, let's come with our hands away from the knees. We can do whatever you want with your hands. So what I'm going to get you to do, you might want to sit back into your heels like this, like hips all the way down. Here. Okay, so sit on a box or a pillow for this part. So even if you're way up here, you do have that option. We're going to lean over to the left side, come back to the middle, lean over to the right. So actually move your weight from one side to the other. This may be all you do. It may be something you don't bother doing, in which case you just keep working in and out, even if it means you have to come out of that position once or twice. Now, if you're here, and this is pretty simple, the next iteration is going to be to stay leaning on the left, right knee, press to the ground. Open it up. Shift back to the middle. Shift to the right. Press the knee to the ground. Bring it back and to the middle. Good. Shift left. Press the knee. Bring it back. Shift right. Press the knee. All right, let's do one more on each direction, one each side. And then switch. Good, and bring that to the middle. All right, from here, let's straighten out. Come into a forward fold with a wide leg. Let's let our neck hang as much as we can. Shake it out just a little bit to let the vertebrae separate. Bring the hands to the ankles if you'd like a little support, or you can always just keep your hands on the ground. But relax the belly, soften the knees. All right, and then brace it up and let's come down to the ground on the mat. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna do is, I actually don't know what this is called. In Les Mills, they call it broken toe pose. But this is gonna be where we are gonna get onto our knees, and the position is that our knees are apart. So, kind of doesn't matter what you do with your feet. We don't want them to be outside of the alignment of the knees, but we do want to have them at least either in or on the inside of the knees. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm turning my toes in so that they're active, is what we call it in martial arts, active toes. And I am going to sit down and back onto my heels. Now, if you've got super flexible feet, either because you've spent your life sitting on the floor, you've done a lot of yoga or martial arts, this is not a big deal. But if our feet are not very flexible, this is going to feel like a broken toe pose. So we want to sit up all the way if we need to, curl the toes under, and then sit back. But what I want us to do is sit straight down instead of back. There you go. Lean forward just a little bit, and then sit the hips down. There you go. Does that feel different? And you can adjust this if you want less, bring the toes further away from the body and sit back. If you want more, curl it in. And you can also use your blocks. So if you'd like to focus on just the toes, what you're gonna do is you'll just sit on the block and work on the toes in a way that feels good. All right, from here, let's come on down to a kneeling position. So what we're gonna do is come with the left foot up and the right knee down. And I'm squaring my hips and my shoulders towards the left side of the room. So I wanna keep my knee right underneath my, right in front of my hip and right over my ankle as I lean forward. So what I'm gonna do is I'm leaning in, I'm keeping my chest up and my hands on my hips. So I should feel a long stretch in the front of the hip on the right side. So the other thing we want to do is make sure that this knee that's bent, again, I can see my toe and that it is in line with the hip. So if we're pushed out, let's bring it in towards the big toe, which is kind of the opposite of what we do if we're putting a lot of weight on. Good, bring it up to the center. And what we're going to do next is we're going to cross the right hand and then face towards the back of the room. Chest is up, just a little bit of a twist in the body, looking over the shoulder. Good, switch sides. Same thing, set up with a knee on top of the ankle, lean into it, hips and shoulders are square to the side of the room. I can see my big toe, but my knee is not so far out that I can see all of my toes. We really want to feel this stretching the front of the left hip this time. See if you can relax and exhale. If it's too much, back off a little bit. Let's cross. Left hand over the knee, right hand turns. Let's look over the shoulder if we'd like a little more. Good, bring it back to the center. Let's come back up to neutral. So got a couple of other stretch/core things here that we're gonna do. First, we're gonna start with a striking cobra sequence. So this is really similar to a modified dive bomber. If you face this way, it'd be easier. You won't be on camera. All right, so we're gonna start with our toes together and knees apart. And we're gonna sit back in a child's pose, but we want it to be an active child's pose, which I don't know is actually a thing, but this is how I think of it. My shoulder blades are pulled into my back pockets. My back is flat,
Fingers are wide and the base of my palm is pressing into the ground. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my elbows on the ground, slide myself forward, and then come up into a cobra. That just means my hips are on the ground, my elbows are bent. Sit back into your child's pose again, active with the arms. Set the elbows on the ground, slide forward, bend the wrists, lift the chest. So you should feel this in the triceps more than anything else. Sit back, elbows on the ground, slide forward, and lift. Now, if you'd like a little more, you feel like your back and your glutes can handle it, what we're gonna do is stick with this, but come forward. This time, I'm gonna lift my thighs and straighten my arms, just like when I do my up dog. Sitting back, elbows on the ground, sliding forward, and lifting, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Let's do like 2 more here. Good, now let's come back into your all fours, quadruped position. Flat back, knees are apart for balance. So we're gonna start with our right toe coming towards the ceiling. And what I wanna do is make sure that this hip is facing the ground, toe faces the ceiling like a scorpion, and all I'm gonna do from here is pulse up. Now, depending on how flexible I am, this is either gonna be small or big, but I want it to be steady. And I want it to be so that my shin is as vertical as possible, my back is flat, and the right side of my hip is facing the ground, or the right front hip is facing the ground. 3, 2, 1. Now, keep this leg bent, rotate, bring it in, rotate to the ceiling. So I'm gonna turn this way so you can see it from the front. Toes facing the ceiling, rotate, bring it to the side, rotate, press it to the ceiling. So it's toe to the ceiling, to the outside. Let's get 3 more. Trying to keep the hips level. 2, rotate, 1, and rotate. Shake that out. Brace the hands underneath the shoulders again, elbows to the back of the room. This is going to get your torso engaged. Left toe to the ceiling, again, pointing towards the ceiling and pulsing. So again, my flexibility at the front of the hip and my glute strength are going to affect this. So if I can, let's try to keep the knee at midline. Check out up here. So rather than having the knee out, rotate the knee in. That's it. Pressing straight up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Squeeze the armpits again if we've lost it. Bring the knee to the outside of the elbow. Press it all the way up. Outside of the elbow and up. And if this is too much on your wrist, feel free to grab either some push-up handles. You can also, just take breaks with your wrist. You can also use dumbbells to hold on to for this. So let's do 4, toe to the ceiling, 3, rotate, 2, and my knee doesn't really go anywhere. It's just coming to the side, but it stays high. I think we have 1 more. And hold. Good, shake that out. Sit back into your child's pose, and then let's flip over onto our backs. So we're gonna do just a little bit of the front of the body core work. So I'm gonna start with my feet flat, walk my shoulders away from my ears, and if this hurts, I'm going to brace my fingers to the base of my skull. But notice that I'm not holding, I'm just supporting right at the occipital right here. So tuck the chin. If you want it, we're gonna have our hands in the front. You're gonna reach like you're pulling a rope, bring it back, reach, and pull. This is our favorite / least favorite core exercise, but take your time. Drive the shoulder to the ceiling, drive it to the ceiling. So we don't want to just be
here. It should be movement. I'm pushing my left shoulder into the ground while my right shoulder comes all the way as high as it can go. Stretch the shoulder blade away from the spine. And you can even use the elbow on that bottom hand to reach even higher. Let's get 4, 3, 2, and 1. So let's get a little bit more of a stretch / crunch in here. So we're gonna bring our toes together, knees apart, just like a frog. And I'm going to tuck my chin and reach towards my toes. So it's gonna look like this. All right, so starting right here, tuck the chin, fingers if you need to. We're gonna pulse in for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now stretch the arms and the feet out for 3, 2, 1. Bring it in for 4, 3, 2, hold here. Pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend just one time. 3, 2, 1. Back stays flat. 3, 2, 1. Bring the feet down and let's climb the rope again. We lift and drop, pressing and extending into the sky. Again, you can get that same feeling even if we have to support the base of the skull. That's gonna get us obliques just without the effect of the reach. Keep breathing. Exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's bring the fingers or the toes together, knees apart. Reach towards the toes. Pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch it out for 4, 3, 2, hold. Bring it in. 3, 2, 1. Pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend it out. 4, 3, 2, hold. 4, 3, 2. Last pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax it down. All right, so next up, we have some regular old stretches, nothing too crazy yet. So we're gonna start with a little bit of a bridge, just because it's a little more demanding than the rest of the class is gonna be. So let's get our heels as close as we can to our glutes. Pull the belly in and drop the ribs. The first iteration of this is palms flat on the ground. Pressing into the ground, I'm gonna lift my hips up into the air. My chin is kind of tucked into a double chin. I'm trying not to let my ribs flare. I'm gonna drop them down. Now, if that feels pretty good, the next thing that we're gonna do is press our back of the hands to the ground. We have our palms facing the ceiling. So now we don't have quite as much assistance from the upper body. If my knees are flaring out, let's pull them in. Drop the hips anytime you need to. Now, if you'd like a little more upper body involvement, walk the shoulders away from the ears, and let's bring our fingertips together. If you can, squeeze the elbows together and push the pinkies into the ground. This is new. When I first started teaching this type of class, I could not get my hands underneath here. I don't have my elbows on the ground, and it's not totally flat, but I can get my fingers together, which is a huge success for me. So let's hold that for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then relax. So shake it out. We'll do it one more time. Same sequence. Palms to the ground, feet about hip width apart. Press the heels and lift the hips. Squeeze the butt. If it helps get the engagement, put a ball or your yoga block between your knees. Turn the palms face up. If you'd like a little bit less assistance, tuck the chin and push onto the shoulders instead of the neck. If you want it, bring the fingertips together or lace the fingers. The goal is to push the pinkies to the ground. Keep the ribs from flaring. Squeeze the knees for 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Excellent. So let's hug a knee and come up to a seated position. We're on our down slope now. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna do is a lounge stretch, and I don't know that I've done this with anybody except some of my clients. We're gonna take our fingertips and face them towards our hips, and I like to make an L shape with my hands and put them right on the outside of my hips here. So I'm framing. Sit up very straight, and I'm gonna bring my feet apart so that they are comfortable. Now, we're gonna do this two ways. The first one's going to be an upper body stretch. So I'm keeping my shoulder blades down, and I'm gonna slide my hips away from my arms and stretch out the upper body. Lift the chest, keep the arms straight as we can, and if we need to bend, back off just a little bit, the arms a little bit, and come back a little more. There you go, there you go. And then lift the chest, exhale. And if you feel anything loosening up, you can slide your hips forward, but only if we can keep this position with our open chest and the shoulder blades down. Take a break whenever you need to. All right, bring that back in and relax. So this time we're gonna approach it from a different direction. However feels comfortable with the hands, roll it out and just find a comfortable spot with the hands. This time we're gonna do this for the lower body. So my knees are mostly together, sitting up very straight. I'm gonna keep my feet flat and I'm gonna slide my hips towards my heels. Doesn't matter what happens with the upper body, I wanna push my hips towards my feet. Now for some folks, this is no big deal, in which case you just stick with the upper body. But if you have some knee flexibility issues, this is gonna be difficult. All right, so slide back. Again, lounge chair stretch with the fingers and the chest if that's more difficult. Or one more time, we get comfortable, slide the hips towards the heels and stretch through the knees. Does that feel like a stretch? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. All right, good. Slide it back. And then let's come and face the front. All right, last couple of stretches here. Feet are gonna be together. Hold on to the ankles, lift up the chest. And we're just gonna start by planting our right hand on the ground and the left hand lifts. So as I do this, I'm gonna keep pressing my knees into the ground and keep both hips flat. Come back to the center. Left hand comes down, lift and extend. If we can, we C-shape the spine by pushing the ribs out towards the right side. Keep pushing the knees down and keep pushing the hips so that they stay even. Good. Bring that to the center. Sit up nice and straight, grab the heels, and let's hinge forward just a little bit. Chest stays up, only as far as you can go without pain. If it feels all right, extend the arms and relax the back. It may be way up here, it may be down here. This is another spot where if this is super tight, grab a block or a pillow and sit on it, and that will give you a little bit less intensity through the hips. All right, from here, keep the right leg bent, extend the left to the front, flex our toe in. So we want to keep this nice and straight and I'm squared off to the front. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk my hands down and go only as far as I can go with my back flat, just like we did a second ago. Now, if it feels okay, relax the back. If we need to, we can rest the arms on the leg. We can grab the foot and pull our chest towards it, or we can just kind of hold in that relaxed back position. See if you can exhale, relax the belly. On your next exhale, see if you can relax the back of the leg along the hamstring. And let's come up to the middle and switch legs. So folding in left, extending the right. You can go straight ahead. I'm just angling for the sake of the video. Sit up very straight, walk the hands down, and also, if you've got a band or a towel or anything, this is a spot where we can pull in. And even if we're using a band, when we exhale, relax forward. Resting on the quad if we need to. Resting the hand on the ground or reaching for the toe.
If we can, let's exhale, relax the belly. Exhale, relax the back of the leg.
And let's come on up and sit crisscross. All right, so let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, bring the hands down. One more time, big inhale. Exhale down, and we are done. Yay! Thank you all. And to the kitty who's doing yoga on the mat.